Hey everybody, welcome to opening day. The Orioles are hosting the Minnesota Twins at Camden Yards, the first game of the season for both teams. Last year, the Twins were a playoff team. They were the second wild card. The Orioles last year finished below 500. We'll see the game in a second, but first I want to tell you I'm giving away 30 free tickets to an MLB game in April of this year. All you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment down below telling me which game you'd want to go to, and I'll randomly select a person from each one of the opening day videos that I am posting. I'm hoping to do 15 different videos for all the different games today, and I will give away 2 tickets in each video. So all you have to do is subscribe, leave a comment, tell me which game you want to go to, choose any April game from Monday through Thursday, and I will pay for your tickets. I'm choosing one winner per video, and also I'm having another little giveaway. Just a quick trivia question. If you could tell me every player that hit a home run throughout this entire opening day series that I'm doing, all you have to do is email me the information. You could check the description for my email address. Send me a list of everyone that hit a home run in my live series simulations, and you can have 2 free tickets, 1 grand prize winner there. So this is MLB The Show 18. It just came out on Tuesday. It's a brand new game. If you're a big baseball fan, you've probably played this game before. It's the absolute best video game on the market today, and I can't show the actual game itself because it's not allowed on YouTube. You can't stream or show live sporting events. Heck, I couldn't even put up like an MLB game from 10 years ago without possibly getting a strike on my channel, and I wouldn't want that. So I'm doing a simulation here. I am playing as the Orioles, and I'm taking on the Twins. So here's Miguel Sano. He actually had kind of an uncertain winter. He was possibly facing suspension, and he's possibly hitting a home run here. I jumped too early. Home run, Miguel Sano. It's 1-0 Twins. But yeah, he was under a cloud of suspicion because supposedly something happened at a mall between him and a female photographer or something like that. And it was basically a he said, she said kind of deal. And they did like a few months long investigation, and they just couldn't find enough evidence to back up what the woman was saying. So Miguel Sano is not going to be punished. Hopefully the allegations aren't true. And then hopefully if they aren't true, Miguel Sano can get back to playing baseball. And Manny Machado just launched one. Machado ties it up. It's 1-1. Unfortunately, I think everybody knows this is Manny Machado's last year playing for the Baltimore Orioles. He was on the trading block for a good part of the winter. He's moved back to shortstop. That kind of increases his value because we already know that he's a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. If he can show that he's also a Gold Glove caliber shortstop, he's got 2 positions that if a team has a need at shortstop or third base, I mean, he basically just doubled his suitors. So I don't know where Machado is going to end up. I think if the Orioles are out of the wild card race by July, that he could possibly and should be traded along with Adam Jones and any other impending free agents like Zach Britton from the Orioles. They might just have to blow it up. They don't want to do what the Royals did last year. The Royals were kind of a little bit under 500. They had a bunch of free agents, Lorenzo Cain and Mike Moustakas and Eric Hosmer, and instead of trading all those guys, they held on to them and went for it, and then they ended up like finishing way behind the Indians anyway. The Indians won like 22 games in a row or something like that, and just totally buried the rest of the division. I'm actually thinking about going down to Baltimore this weekend and seeing these 2 teams play. There's really no games that are that close to me. I live in Pittsburgh, and usually my second option if I want to go to a baseball game is Cleveland. So Baltimore is about almost 4 hours away. It's not really a bad drive, but one of the main things that I do at baseball games is I show up early and I go in for batting practice. And I like to catch the home run balls. I usually get like 700 a year. I've caught over 6,000 since 2007, which is pretty decent. So this year is kind of special in Baltimore because they brought back an early entry perk for season ticket holders. So if you have a season ticket, you can get in 30 minutes early and see the Orioles take batting practice. So I'm looking forward to that. I always used to do that back in the day whenever I would go down to Baltimore. I would usually go a handful of times every year. I used to have a ticket connect down there. This guy would always sell me his season tickets because all you have to do is basically you just have to have a season ticket, like a hard stock season ticket, and you were good. They don't have like an ID card like some teams have and whatever. So looking forward to utilizing that privilege this year. Maybe at least a couple times. Like I said, Saturday's a possibility. We'll see what happens. Anyway, this game's still 1-1. We had 2 solo home runs, and now that's not good. Who is that out there? Is that Rasmus out in right field? Well, it is now, unfortunately, 2-1 Twins for me. And, oh man, who's playing first base? Chris Davis? Chris Davis and his $162 million contract. I think he's only like a bronze in this game. I remember like last year, the year before, Chris Davis was a sought-after player in Diamond Dynasty. He was a gold. He cost all these stubs. Now he's a bum in this game. Oh, that could be trouble. All right, track it down out there. Not too bad. 3-1. I can maybe come back from that. We'll see what happens. That was Mancini out there in left field, I think. All right, here's Tim Beckham. He's going to line one out there, and it's going to be caught. Tim Beckham's going to take over at third base for the Orioles. And you don't really think of Tim Beckham as a power guy, but the guy hit 22 home runs last year. And playing at Camden Yards all year, he could be a 25 to 30 home run bat, which is kind of impressive. Was that Byron Buxton strikes out? Byron Buxton is going to be a really exciting player. He's one of the fastest players in the game. Hit 253 last year with 16 home runs, and he's still just maturing. The guy's going to be a beast. This entire Twins lineup is actually pretty decent. You got Miguel Sano, who, this guy's going to hit like 40 home runs one year. It's got to happen. Last year he hit 34. Brian Dozier has hit 40 before. He hit 34 last year, so he's almost, you can guarantee, pencil him in for 30-plus home runs. Eddie Rosario came out of nowhere and hit 27 dingers last year, so he's another guy that could possibly hit 30. And then you got Max Kepler. That guy's got a lot of power in batting practice. Speaking of power, Dozier, who I was just talking about, just scraped one over the fence. That's one thing about Baltimore. It is a really easy stadium to hit home runs in, it seems, and also the numbers back it up. Like, players that go to Baltimore usually have good home run seasons. Usually in batting practice, I play like 3 rows back at PNC Park, and that's kind of like the range for most of the home runs are going to land within, I don't know, like maybe like a row in front of me or 2 rows behind me. I'd say about half of the home runs there kind of hit in that range, but at Oriole Park at Camden Yards at batting practice, you got like, I don't know, like 30 rows of seats, and a lot of them are way, way back there. I bet you if you did a park overlay, it would be one of the smallest parks in the MLB. But it's also one of the nicest. A lot of people consider Oriole Park at Camden Yards to be a top 5 park. Usually in anyone's list, they always have Camden Yards right up there. They have AT&T Park out in San Francisco up there. They usually have PNC Park in the top 3. Those 3 are usually competing on anyone's ballpark list that have been to all the stadiums. I'm not a huge fan of Camden Yards. I I like it. I think it's gorgeous. I don't know. I would rank it above average, I guess. Maybe one of these days I'll have to do an in-depth ballpark review video and kind of just go over every single ballpark and my thoughts about them. I've been to 21 Major League ballparks. I've got 9 more to go. It looked like it was going to happen, but then I I mean, I have 4 kids now. They're all pretty young, so that really cut down on my traveling. I used to travel all over the country back like 5-6 years ago. Buxton just struck out again. Oh, by the way, I kind of fast-forwarded ahead a couple innings. We're now in the 8th inning. I've got Darren O'Day on the mound. Darren O'Day is one of my favorite pitchers to use in this game because of his weird kind of submarine-style delivery. Also, he's got a pretty quick delivery, which speeds the games up a little bit. So O'Day is on. That's like the 3rd inning I had him in there. I had to pull Dylan Bundy kind of early because Bundy was struggling a little bit. That's going to be a big area of concern for the Orioles is that starting rotation. And Chris Davis homers out there into the bullpen area. Now it's 6-4, so this game's not over yet. Going into the offseason, they basically had like 2 starters, Dylan Bundy and Kevin Gossman. A lot of the rest of it was uncertain. They signed Chris Tillman back. They also signed Andrew Kashner. And most recently, the big news was that they signed Alex Cobb to a 4-year deal for something like almost $60 million or something like that. So their rotation was a giant question mark, but now it's kind of been settled down a little bit. Some people are actually picking the Orioles to be a wild card team this year. With their lineup, it could happen. I was talking about the Twins lineup being good earlier. The Orioles lineup is actually probably even a little bit better from top to bottom. Chris Davis, 26 home runs last year, has potential for 40 if he doesn't strike out like 250 times. Jonathan Scope, 32 home runs last year. He could hit 40 if he keeps maturing and continuing to grow. Tim Beckham, I already talked about. That guy could hit 25. He hit 22 last year. Manny Machado had kind of a down year last year, and he still hit 33 home runs despite being pretty bad in the first half. Trey Mancini hit 24 home runs last year. Adam Jones has big-time power. He hit 26 home runs last year. Mark Trumbo, that guy could hit 40 home runs. He hit a bunch years prior, had 23 home runs last year. So that's so many home runs in that lineup. They can just bash the ball. So if the starting pitching and the bullpen can be good, I mean, I could see why some people are picking them for a wild card. Looking over my Baseball Weekly magazine, they have them projected for 72 wins and 90 losses. If they start the season hot and they are right up there competing with the Yankees and Red Sox, I don't think the Orioles are going to want to trade away some of their veterans. And they might go for it. You never know. I would love to see Baltimore get into the postseason because then I could go to a lot of games because they're not that far away. 3.5-hour drive. And Manny Machado just hit a double, and now it's kind of a ball game again. They're going to do an intentional walk here. That's Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer Paul Molitor, and his 3,000 hits. Doesn't really look like him too much. They really made him age a lot. Fernando Rodney's on the mound. He's like 41 or 42 years old now. He's still pitching. Bases loaded here. Chris Davis had a chance to be the hero. He's going to fly out, but it's going to be a sac fly, so we got a tie game here in the bottom of the 9th. We could walk this one off. That'd be a nice way to start the season for the Orioles. I actually attended an opening day before. In 2012, I went to opening day. I went with my wife and my newborn daughter at the time. Most of you that are long-term fans or subscribers of this channel know her. Her name's Olivia, and she went to opening day April 2012, and she was only like 8 months old. Those were good times. I think I got Sano. I was going to say I got like 8 balls that day on opening day, which is pretty good. But Miguel Sano just hit a home run, and the Twins are up 7-6 in extra innings. That's not too good. All right, we'll have to see if we can come back. So that was probably my best memory at Camden Yards, going there for opening day with my wife and daughter Olivia when she was like 8 months old. I remember sitting in the upper deck. She was all bundled up. We actually got her a little tiny little baby Orioles chair that she could sit in so she could watch the game. Was that Buxton striking out again? How many times has that guy struck out today? Here's Taylor Rogers. He threw me a ball last year, in Cleveland out in center field. So I'll always be a Taylor Rogers fan. All right, so there's one out. Here is Colby Erasmus. Oh, did he do it? Maybe. That might be a home run. Oh, it's into the gap out there. That is a home run. Colby Rasmus. That definitely is not his first major league home run. He's been around for a while. There's a little gap out there in center field. It's only like 3 feet wide between the outfield fence and the seats. The outfield seats in the center field are kind of set back a little bit, which makes sense because then you don't have to worry about fan interference out there. But sometimes balls land in that gap, just like that Rasmus home run did, and they just settle down there. So I have a ball retriever that I can get balls out of that gap with. Usually I could get maybe like 1 or 2 out of there every time I would go to Baltimore. But now it seems like there's people that just kind of stand there at the ready for any ball that lands down there, and they're just on it right away. So I haven't really been able to do that too much in recent years because people kind of have that. They have that under wraps out there in center field. All right, 7-7, top of the 11th. There's 2 outs. Let's just get out of this inning so that we can have a chance to walk this one off because this is my 4th game of the day. I've got 11 more games to play, and I'm already feeling a little bit tired. My voice is kind of feeling a little bit tired from talking so much during these videos. But I wanted to give a little bit of analysis and my thoughts about the teams that are playing. Even if I'm not a Baltimore or Twins fan, I still do follow them. I have to follow them because I see the Twins more than the Orioles. Going to Cleveland as much as I do, I see the Twins at least a few times a year, and that's going to be a walk-off. Mark Trumbo. Goodbye. Game over. Finally, the Orioles win. Paul Molitor is not happy. And the final score, I think, what is it, like 9-7 or something like that? It doesn't matter. It's a walk-off winner. You can see everyone's going to mob them at home. All right, so that's the final. The Orioles take opening day. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure that you subscribe and comment down below and just let me know what game you want to go to. You can enter up to 15 times, once on every video. Just leave a comment in every video. Tell me the game you'll go to, and then I'll probably use random.org and just type in all the commenters' name and just choose a random person. Just make sure that you choose a game that is a Monday through Thursday game because I don't want to pay like $50 or $60 for a Saturday game. I want to get tickets for everyone out there, as many people as I can. Thanks again, everybody. See you next video.